university. So I dropped off from the university, and then I became a stewardess of TWA. And I flew all over the world based in Hong Kong. And I always wanted to know what I wanted. And I always had vision. And I was very good on holding on to that vision until I manifested them. I just didn't know why I could do it, but I could do it every time. Because I think my vision was always very, very clear. So I wasn't very surprised when I met my future husband in Tel Aviv. It's one of the stops of TWA, and I met this nice young Englishman who was very charming, very wealthy, and then he liked Japan, and he liked sushi as well. So when he asked me out for sushi, I thought, it's very nice, you know. And he said he was going to go to Hong Kong to be a pilot for Cathay Pacific. And I thought, oh, that's nice. He's going to be a captain one day. So I was very happy to go out with him. And 3 years later, we were married. And yeah, I always could manifest what I wanted. So we started building a wonderful life in Hong Kong. We were blessed with 2 children as well. And I was teaching piano, and my daughter wanted to be a pianist. And she knew that when she was very young. She had a vision to be a pianist when she was already 5 or 6. So I was taking her all around the world to find the best teacher and best school in the world. So that's what I was doing, and our son, he was very good anyway, so I didn't pay too much attention because I was too busy with my pianist daughter. And our life in Hong Kong was almost perfect. He became captain eventually, and then I could travel all around the world, almost free as well, every time. Isn't that nice? Yeah. And he had a great job being a pilot and being a captain. Cathay was the best paid airline in the world those days. And I was very happy, but one thing which really bothered me was the challenging job of being a pilot. It's mentally and physically very challenging. But I didn't know that he was going to be okay until the retirement. And retirement age is 55. Don't you think it's very young? Yeah. So we were always looking for some kind of opportunity. And Hong Kong was a very vibrant city. There are so many people who came to Hong Kong, found opportunity, made money, and went back to their own countries. So I was in the right place at the right time, and then learning how the Hong Kong vibration, who is very entrepreneurial. So we were always searching for good opportunity. And besides that, I had a big dream and vision. I wanted to give fantastic education to my children, and my son wanted to go to the best school. And at the end, he went to Eton and then studied with Prince William. And he was the captain of the water polo, and Prince William was in his team. So wasn't that great? So every time I asked him, how's Prince William? Is he very nice? And he said, you're like a gutter dress. Don't ask me, he's a nice boy. Anyway, he went to Eton, and then he got a scholarship as well for music. And my daughter, I wanted to give her the best musical education, which can be so expensive. And thank you to NUSKIN, we could do that. And I wanted to have a nice house in Japan, and my husband Peter, wanted to have a house in England. So we had a huge dream, and we didn't want to travel in economy. We always wanted to travel first class or business class, and that's expensive as well. So all these dreams we had, and Peter said, I want to have a private airplane and a jet. So I thought, oh God, you're just an airline pilot, you can't do that. All my business came when I came to Salt Lake City for piano competition. It was one Gina Bachau piano competition in 1991, and my daughter was invited. And she was, we were staying in this house. They were a host family, so you can imagine they were NUSKIN distributors as well. So everything around me was NUSKIN. They didn't have so many products, and then they said, you have to come to the business presentation. So I went to the business presentation, and it was wonderful, because one of the very good-looking young men, he happened to be a lawyer, was doing the presentation. I don't really remember what he said, but he was nice looking, right? And he said, this business is going global. So I thought, well, it's global already. It says NUSKIN International. But he said, no, it's just a name, but it's going to be global. And Hong Kong is the first place that you expand the business into. So I thought, great. My buzzword was global. So global business, I wasn't interested in selling the product, but I wanted to build global network. And then that's how I came into the business. I asked my husband, would you like to do this business? And he said, no, I'm not quite sure what it is. You can buy the product, but don't sign up anything. That's what he said. So I couldn't sign up anything because the Hong Kong wasn't open. I went back home, and NUSKIN official opening in Hong Kong was 1991. And I don't know, there are so many people who is here today were there in 1991. Tracy, were you there? Were you there? Really? So that was quite amazing opening. And we only had 16 products, and that's the way I used to do the business. Can you see? Do you remember these telephones? Who knows these telephones? It comes from the wall and everything. And we didn't have iPhone, and we couldn't we couldn't text to anybody. So it was very different kind of business at the end. So this was how I used to do the business. And September 1991 onward, my daily life, when I wasn't calling, I was doing business present. I was inviting people from all over the world. Not world, all over Hong Kong, right? And then I was doing facelift. Do you know facelift? Yeah. It still works so well. You mix the powder with liquid, and then these are pilots, you know, the cafe pilots on the settees. And I had more pilots all over the place. And I wanted them to realize the business, but they weren't that interested in the business, but they all bought the products. And that was really quite exciting for me, and I was having so much fun. My first turning point came when Michiko and Bruno Graf came into the business. I think many people may know Michiko Graf, and she became 5 or 6 years before me to COE4. And she joined the business in September 1991 in Hong Kong. And she was very beautiful. She was a bodybuilder, and she's a pro jazz singer. And she was really excited to come to the meeting. You know why? Because Mr. Yuta was conducting the meeting. He was one of my upline. And she found from her friend, Mr. Yuta was giving the meeting. So that was the only reason she came. I didn't even know her, you know, but she turned up to my doorstep and she said, I want to see Mr. Yuta. So she came to the meeting, and she was very happy. She looked very happy. And a couple of days later, she signed up. I didn't know how good she was, but she was very consistent. She was very good selling the product, and she was always calling me every single day. And one day, she told me, I have somebody who's interested in the business. So I said, you do? And because she never brought anybody who was interested in the business. And she said, this person is very interested in this. My cousin's husband. So I said, well, bring him. So she brought him to Peter, you know, my late husband. And his name is Katsumi Kaneko. And he was a pro baseball player. One more slide. Okay. Thank you. His name was Katsumi Kaneko. And he was really quite a man. And Peter did 5-point presentations, a business presentation, and he said he doesn't even speak English. At that time, he didn't speak English. But he was so excited about compensation plan. So he was excited about compensation plan, so I started talking to him about the company itself. And he said, okay, this business seems to be very good. He was already very entrepreneurial and living in Hong Kong, on and off Hong Kong. At that time, Nathan Rick said, there is pre-marketing meeting in Guam. You have to bring the people who are interested to open in Japanese market. But they have to be already signed up, you know, and they have to be overseas Japanese like me and like him. And he came. It was 3 days after I told him the whole business presentation, and I said, you want to come to Guam for business presentation? And he said yes. Quick decision, right? That's so important to be so quick. And he said yes. So he got the ticket, and 3 of us, Michiko, me, and Kaneko, went to the meeting. It was legal, because Guam was American territory. So it's legal to do the meeting in Guam. Nathan was there. It was a very intensive 2 days. I thought I was going to beach and enjoy, but no! It was just learning about compensation plan, duplication model, and everything. All day, for 2 days. But we learned, and he, you know how Nathan Rick says, thank you so much, Nathan. He prepared, in Japanese, the duplication model that we could use in Japan. So together with that, we went back. And he said, we're going to have another meeting in Saipan. I don't even remember whether Saipan or Guam, which one is before. But he said, bring as many people as you can. So next meeting, Katsumi brought 70 people. And I knew at that time he was going to be very serious. And at that time, we had already his compensation plan. Compensation plan was like 12 pages. And at the end, that he showed us how much money that we could do a simulation model. The reason so many people came into the business, so many businessmen came into the business, was because of that compensation plan and simulation model. And the next person that he brought, he became the key man for Japanese opening. His name is Naoki Hongo. He's 85 or 86 now, but no, maybe not that old. He was born in 1941. So he is he was about 50 when he joined, okay? And he was very excited about the business opportunity. And he worked so closely with Katsumi Kaneko. And he started, he sold everything. He sold everything. His wife had sold everything to travel around Japan. Those days, can you imagine, there's no internet. You can't connect unless you go all around Japan to travel. But he did that. And then his wife sold his insurance, jewelry, everything to make money to get him to travel. So he was like that. And he worked very closely with Kaneko. And he became the #1 in Japan. And Takako Kitaoka, She is another one, very goal-oriented person. All these people I'm introducing because you don't know them. And then she's very goal-oriented, and she knew, she could always see when she's going to be COE 2, COE 3, COE 4, and she wanted to have 100 COE as quick as possible. And she achieved 100 COE in less than 15 years. Isn't that amazing, starting from her? So she is just such an inspiration for all. And she's still going around Japan giving meetings. I did meeting together with her about 2 months ago. Incredible, right? And she was 52 when she started the business. You know, people say, why Japan? It was so successful. It's not because what we did before Japan opened. It was a support system after Japan opened. I was interested in many countries opening. I went to China, I went to Korea, I went to Thailand, I was in England. And in England, I had a huge group in England to start out with, right? But support system has to be always very good. Support system was good. I mean, the people started fighting, that's why they all destroyed each other. And that kind of thing, you don't want that. But support system in Japan was excellent. I made an organization called Blue Diamond International. Isn't that a good name? Yeah, Blue Diamond International. And then I supported everybody. We had the office. And then there are meetings every day, not only one meeting, meetings every day. And the Hongo had office, Kitaoka builds a huge place in Kyoto. And she had meetings in her place all the time. She made a NUSKIN office, and she has a NUSKIN mark on her elevator. You know, it's such a big place. She has an elevator, and she has a NUSKIN mark on it. And there are people coming to her place all the time to listen to her speak. It's still the same. She's still doing it. Can you imagine? So we had fantastic support system. So whenever you're thinking about opening in India, you might be able to get lots of Indians and make sure that you will support them for years to come. And still, we have OTG, thanks to OTG. OTG supports people very well in a different way. Now we support them online as well. But one thing never changing fast. Things change, but never changing fast is we all get old. And we want to feel young and well forever. But you can do it with our products, right? I'm so glad that I'm going to be 74 soon, but I'm just going around the world, traveling, you know, all over the place. And think about your grandma, right? Maybe I'm older than your grandma. I have no idea. Yeah, we have desire to live rich and happy life. And you can do that for sharing the business together, right? I mean, not only sharing it with younger people, share it with your grandparents, right? And those are never changing fast. So this NUSKIN is a fantastic business and products for it. And I now live in life of abundance. It's wonderful. And this is exactly what NUSKIN business is all about. You know, it's financial and time freedom. And then I am here, I feel so honored to be financial and time freedom. And global business, and wellness and beauty, self-growth, and social. Oh, okay. Okay, anyway, we were 50 years together, you know. And over 30 years we are doing NUSKIN. I know now. Okay, and then I am glad my husband is with me today in spirit. And then we have wonderful life together going around the world, financial time freedom. And we had such wonderful times with NUSKIN family. I went to so many places together with you. And thanks to NUSKIN with all those intensive training. And I have houses all over the world. Children had a fantastic education. And you have to look at this. You have to look at this. Cathay Pacific Airways pilot, 25 years. We calculated everything with my husband. US 7.5 million. That's not bad, right? But look at NUSKIN. Which one do you prefer? COE4 long time ago and plus. Okay? So when you know what you want and you want it bad enough, then you find a way to get it. Thank you.